Let's go on down to, good morning, caller.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
Excellent.
It's my first time to ever call into anything like this.
I appreciate your call.
I didn't think it was really live, so I thought, well, let me just call him. But anyway.
Just to test us, huh?
I was calling mostly because, I don't know your name in the middle.
Ray.
Okay.
Or the Atheist. I've been nicknamed the Atheist. Go ahead.
Okay. I was calling because of the comment you made. You said you didn't, I can't remember exactly what you said, but something like you didn't think God was real or something like that.
I don't believe there was a real person called Jesus Christ. They can't prove when he was born. They can't prove when he died. So they can't even prove he was a real person.
I know. I heard a lady on television one time. I think she was like a Muslim young lady, and she was saying, you know, God has to prove himself to me, blah, 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 but we've got to have faith. But that's not why I'm calling. I'm not calling to argue or anything like that. But I was calling mostly, I want to say something to the guy that called earlier.
Thank you.
What's going on and on and on. All I want to say to you is, it says in the Bible, and you should know this, that no man comes to the Father unless he draws them. So the point is, arguing with them is pointless. I mean, you've got to plant the seed and move on. I myself just got saved 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I'm 35 years old. I didn't believe God was real. I was raised in a Catholic and Baptist home. My parents were divorced.
Right.
My mom was Baptist, and my mom was Catholic. My stepmom was Baptist. Went to church, but didn't believe God was real. I thought that was just something to teach us that to be good. You know, I didn't believe any of that was real. I don't mean to carry on, but the Bible says we overcome them by our testimony in the blood of the Lamb. And I'm going to tell you that it took me seeing that the devil was real for me to see that God was real. I mean, I had a severe... Let me tell you.
Okay, go ahead. But I have a question for you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask me a question.
What convinced you that the devil was real?
Well, when you actually get an experience by the devil where you have spirits in your house, where you hear noises and things falling off the wall, lamps turning on, TVs turning off, my child was being attacked, pinched, and I know it sounds ridiculous because you can't comprehend. It's never happened to you. You have to remember, I didn't believe any of that stuff was real either, but I had some
Because your TV turning on and off convinced you that there's a devil, and then that then continued on to the existence of God?
It goes much deeper than that.
What exactly do you mean by your child was attacked?
Well, when you have a spiritual attack, sometimes from a demon or something, they will pinch you. It's hard to explain. But the point is, I had some ladies come over. They prayed, and
they performed an exorcist on your house.
No, it wasn't like that at all. They fasted and they prayed, and they told me what to do. And I mean, it didn't happen right away. It took me about a year before I could really take control of the situation. But one day I was standing in the kitchen, and I felt a big rush of wind blowing over my head, and I was like, that really scared me because, first of all, I didn't even believe God was real. You have to remember, I didn't believe any of that. I'm just like y'all. I didn't believe it was real. And I started praying, and believe it or not, God started using me. I would pray for people, and they would get healed. God's really used me a lot in His life. But I'm not calling to convince you. I'm just calling to tell you what happened.
Yeah, and we appreciate you sharing your experiences with us.
You know what? I remember when I used to see Christian people, I go, man, those people are nice. But they don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's not real. That's the silliest stuff I ever heard. And you know what? Now I know when people say that about me, I say, well, you know, I used to be just like that. So I just be patient, and I show them by my example and testimonies that have happened. Even my daughter, I said, go in there. You know, we started praying. She started being happier and everything, more peaceful, and having more confidence that no matter what happens, God was in control. And I said, go in your room. Go in there and pray. You know, just pray for your school, pray for your friends, whatever. Well, I hear this screaming in her room, and I come in there. It's just me and her here in the house. And she's crying, this uncontrollable crying, and she says that, I was praying to my guardian angel. We believe in, you know, we have guardian angels, and she said, I thanked him for all he did for me, and I wanted to know what he looked like. And she said, all of a sudden I saw a man sitting up above me, and she said, I just screamed, you know, it just startled her.
Right.
So she started having experiences like that. One time she was taking a shower, and she was in there for a long time. I remember I was watching the Christian channel. I was going, man, she's taking a long time, but she doesn't do it all the time, so, you know, no big deal. She comes out. She's crying for like 10 minutes. She's standing there with her towel, just crying, uncontrollable crying. I said, well, obviously she's not cut or anything, or nothing's wrong with her, so just let her cry it out. And she said, Mom, I was in there singing this song. It's a song by Kenny Rogers called Mary, Did You Know? Did you know that your baby was actually the great I am? And she said, all of a sudden, I saw Jesus, and he was holding out his hand to me. And I was walking toward him, but then I got scared, and I went back. She said, I slipped in the bathtub, but something picked me up. She's only like 12 years old. Then she gets out of the bathtub, and she says that she saw 3 little angel girls with little swords standing around her and staring at her. And she said they were just smiling at her, and she came out crying. And she has greater faith because of these little experiences. But, you know, before we didn't believe in any of this. So it's kind of hard to imagine. I'm not telling you have to believe. I'm just saying God's Bible says no man comes to the Father unless he draws him. So, you know.
I appreciate your input.
But anyway, I just want to tell you I know how you feel.
All right, thanks again, and please call back. You take care.